Former surgeon from North Texas is now serving a life sentence. This is after patients were maimed and some were killed.
In 2 years, a Dallas neurosurgeon operated on 38 people. 33 were left injured. 2 died. By the time investigators looked, hospitals had shuffled files, lawyers had buried complaints, and families were left with wrecked lives. This is the story the medical world tried to hide. They called him Dr. Death. His name was Christopher Dunch. On paper, he was the kind of surgeon patients prayed for. Trained at the University of Tennessee, PhD in cell biology, years of neurosurgery residency, glowing references. Colleagues called him brilliant, charismatic, even unstoppable. But behind the resume was a trail nobody wanted to follow. At medical school, rumors swirled. Substance abuse, erratic behavior, long nights blurred by cocaine and painkillers. Friends would later testify he was spiraling even before his first patient. And yet, in 2011, Baylor Regional Medical Center in Plano, Texas, handed him the keys to the operating room. No one questioned it. Not the administrators. Not the other surgeons. The question is, why? Within weeks of joining Baylor, Dunch had his first chance to prove himself. His patient, a woman named Kelly Martin. A routine cervical fusion. Low risk. Textbook. Administrators scrambled. Baylor labeled it a complication. But nurses whispered something else. They said Dunch had been reckless, cutting where he shouldn't, ignoring warnings, acting like rules didn't apply. And Kelly Martin's death was only the beginning. Because soon after, patients kept lining up for Dunch. And one by one, their lives unraveled. His next patient was Jerry Summers. Not just any patient, his best friend since high school. Jerry trusted Dunch so much, he let him operate on his spine. Inside the operating room, witnesses say Dunch was erratic. He sliced through muscle like he was in a rush, drilling with reckless force, ignoring bleeding he caused. At one point, he severed a critical artery. Blood pooled. Nurses begged him to stop. But Dunch snapped, "I am the only clean surgical hands in this room." By the time the surgery ended, Jerry Summers was permanently paralyzed. And here's the chilling part, even after crippling his own best friend, Dr. Death was allowed to keep practicing. Jerry Summers left the hospital paralyzed. His family thought this would end Dunch's career. But instead of firing him, Baylor Plano quietly let him keep operating. In fact, just days later, he was back in the OR, this time with a new patient, Kelly Martin, a mother of 2. What happened next was worse. Dunch sliced through an artery in her spine. Kelly bled out on the operating table. Still, the hospital reported nothing to authorities. No police. No medical board alarms. Kelly's death was marked as complication of surgery. Behind closed doors, doctors whispered he was dangerous. Nurses called him a butcher. But every whisper stayed inside those walls, while more unsuspecting patients kept signing their names on his consent forms. Kelly Martin's death should have been the end of Dr. Dunch. But Baylor simply let him walk away. No warnings. No permanent record. Instead of being blacklisted, Dunch was free to find work at other hospitals. And he did. Methodist Hospital. Dallas Medical Center. Each time, administrators ignored the red flags, because if they reported him, it would mean lawsuits, investigations, money lost. The silence cost lives. Floella Brown bled to death after Dunch tore an artery. Mary Efford went in for routine surgery, woke up crippled for life. Inside medical circles, they had a nickname for him, Dr. Death. But patients? They had no idea. They walked into his OR blind, trusting the white coat. The whispers couldn't stay hidden forever. 2 veteran surgeons, Randall Kirby and Robert Henderson, risked their careers to blow the whistle. They went to the Texas Medical Board, and when nothing happened, they went to the DA. Finally, prosecutors moved in. In 2013, Christopher Dunch was arrested, charged with aggravated assault, injury to an elderly patient, and more. The jury took just hours. Life in prison. No parole. Behind bars, the man once trusted to heal was now branded forever as Dr. Death. This wasn't the only case where trust turned deadly. Hospitals, corporations, and even entire industries have covered up crimes just like this, leaving ordinary people to pay the price. If you want the full picture, don't stop here. Like, subscribe and go watch the next story on this channel, another scandal hidden in plain sight, and see just how deep the cover-ups really go.